Hello and welcome everyone, I am Will with Ratings Games Music, and today we are discussing Spider-Man. People love having strong opinions about Spider-Man. He's one of the most popular comic book characters of all time and has now persevered as an icon of the silver screen for decades. The latest Spider-Man film, Spider-Man Brand New Day, just released and it got me thinking, is there an SEO-friendly way in which I can monetize my insane takes on this character? And yeah, it turns out there is. Hooray, that's what you're watching right now. These are the top 6 Spider-Man films, because we here at Ratings Game Music, we go the extra mile for you folks. One quick disclaimer, this is exclusively live-action Spider-Man movies, because including the animated Spider-Verse ones would just mean them occupying 2 of the top 3 spots, and that would prevent me from including some of the more insane haymakers on this list, so alas, here we are. Before we get into it, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, do all the things so this can reach more people, we can keep the lights on, and I can keep inciting rage in the comment sections. Now that that's out of the way, up and away, or whatever the Spider-Man says, cue up the Spider-Pig theme song and let's go. At number 6, we have The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Mark Webb's second at-bat is such a fascinating misfire in so many ways, but it also has some of the most singularly entertaining moments in the franchise's entire history. I cannot overstate this enough. I loathe Webb's first Amazing Spider-Man movie. The fact that Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone have such a great chemistry does not come anywhere near close to making up for the fact that that entire film is just a bargain bin, watered-down redux of Raimi's original first installment. But this one, Webb gets weird with it, man, and it's infinitely more fun as a result. There's a whole gaggle of villains. Philip Phillips is prominently featured in a montage about finding a secret calculator with secret coins to a secret subway cart full of secret exposition. And Garfield, well, he's in full-blown this I'll do whatever I want mode, and it makes it that much better. There's an alternate universe out there somewhere where this movie was $1 billion smash and spurred Sony on to make a bunch of awful movies off the back of it, and it wouldn't be anywhere near as much fun to watch were that the case. But as it stands, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is Sony and Webb falling flat on their face on a grand scale, and for me, that makes this a fascinating if slightly morbid watch, even in 2026. At number 5, we have Spider-Man Homecoming. John Watts' first MCU Spider-Man movie got the mixture so right. After years of movies rushing past the high school set elements of the character in favor of getting to the more adult-centric stuff, Watts & Co. made a movie that really centered on the fact that this was a hero still in high school as a differentiating point and a defining character trait, and it worked. There was a lot of PR talk at the time about how this is John Hughes meets the MCU, and while I wouldn't go that far, I can see where the angle comes from. Unfortunately, the film was so good at the high school stuff that it kind of derailed the subsequent 2 films from there. Far From Home was a bland and obscenely dull sequel whose whole hook was what if European vacation, and No Way Home was far more mimetic than it was cinematic. All in all, Homecoming is a strong foundation from which a lot of squandered potential stems, but it's kind of a shame. This is still a solid Spider-Man movie. At number 4, we have Spider-Man 3. Over the course of nearly 2 decades now, consensus has shifted on Raimi's third Spidey outing. Initially, people were lukewarm on it, feeling it was overstuffed and disappointing as a follow-up to the high bar that was Spider-Man 2. However, since then, the film has undergone a reclamation of sorts, with fans coming out of the woodwork to defend it. Personally, I was there opening night in 2007, and I remember having a blast with the film then and still really enjoy it to this day. It is the weakest of Raimi's trilogy, but it also feels like the most bombastic and ambitious entry that the director got to helm. The blending of cutting-edge digital technology with the more practical effects work of earlier films is taken to a new high here, and the whole thing is just endlessly compelling. Really jazzy, really fun, and off-kilter stuff for a big-budget superhero blockbuster, all of which makes it stand out all the more in hindsight. At number 3, we have the brand new Spider-Man Brand New Day. Tom Holland, you did it, you son of a bitch. The actor's 4th outing as MCU Spidey is the first where he's gotten hands-on with the creative process, and while I was certainly dubious of his making it for the fans approach initially, it turns out he had enough great creatives surrounding him to temper those instincts and churn out something with actual merit. Special shout out to director Destin Daniel Cretton, who reprioritized practical effects, real stunts, and real suits to predominantly sublime results. Also, I'm a die-hard Hulk fanatic, which is to say I live in a state of constant misery and pain. No character has had quite as many vicious ups and and downs as Hulk throughout the MCU, so I am nothing short of elated to see him get to finally actually share the screen with Spider-Man, and Ruffalo is incredible. See what I did there? Incredible. As always, but much better than I was expecting. A very good movie. At number 2, we have Spider-Man 2. After Raimi's first Spider-Man film broke out in a big way at the box office, the filmmaker and his team dove straight into fleshing that world out in a way that felt organic, grounded, and character-centric. The result is an absolutely amazing, sequel. Raimi's humanistic approach to characters like Peter Parker, Mary Jane, Dr. Otto Octavius, and Harry Osborn remains strikingly effective, especially when paired with the genuine comic book indebted gusto of the filmmaking and visuals. Also, it's been said a million times, but it bears repeating. I'm not sure any comic book film since has touched the unfiltered mastery on display in sequences like Dr. Octopus's horror set piece in the hospital or the subway fight sequence. Just genuinely insane stuff. Hard to believe they pulled it off this well to this day. And number 1, Spider-Man. That's right, folks. The best Spider-Man is still Sam Raimi's very first one. It's lightning in a bottle, the kind of thing so potent and powerful that it has served as the blueprint for generations of comic book adaptations that have followed. Fresh off of more vicious genre fare like Army of Darkness and Darkman, Raimi brought his stable of collaborators and appetite for vivacious filmmaking to the source material of Marvel's greatest hero and landed the whole thing with aplomb. To this day, the final fight sequence of Spider-Man and Green Goblin swerving from the big-budget bridge set to the grimy, low-budget, no-holds-barred haunted house brawl is one of my favorite things to ever be put in an action blockbuster. It is so quintessentially Raimi, and nowhere else in this entire character's history have we seen a filmmaker go for broke quite as hard as Raimi does here. Marvelous stuff, truly. And that's the top 6 Spider-Man films, folks. If you disagree, see me in the comments section. If you agree, back me up down there, alright? We could have gone all the way, done a full ranking so I could share even more hot takes, like how No Way Home is probably the second worst of the whole bunch, but I suppose that's a conversation for another day, like when we inevitably attempt the suicide mission that is trying to rank every MCU movie when Avengers Doomsday comes out later this year. Anyway, if you like whatever the hell this was, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, click the bell icon, clip us, stream us, chime in on your local Reddit dashboard, hand out Chinese fortune cookies at the corner store where the fortunes all just have the URL to this video printed on them. Any and all of those things is appreciated. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a great one.